So this is a very quick and simple video on how to use TunerPro. This happens to be TunerPro RT because I'm using the Ostrich chip emulator. First thing you have to do is go to File and Open Bin, and then pick the bin file that you want to use. When you open the bin file, the name of it will show up here. Second thing you need to do is go to XDF, hit Select XDF. I'm going to open the Carpokes one. So now you'll see that's my bin, August 29th, and that's the XDF. Then if you don't have anything else on the screen, go to View, Show Parameter Tree, and then expand that little tables file. And these are all the maps that you can change on the chip, or on the emulator as the case may be. In order to activate all that, you want to go to Tools, go down to Initialize Tuning Hardware, click on that until you hear that beep. That means the Ostrich was found and it's working. Then go to under Tools, Emulation, and make sure Enable Live Tuning is checked. So just real basically, there's any number of things you could change, but the basics would be to make sure that your fuel scaling is right for your injectors. I run a 62-pound fuel injector with a 3-bar fuel pressure regulator, so I've got 62 in there. So let's say, for example, that you ran 55-pound injectors. You just put 55 in there, and then go up to that little thing right there, which I think is supposed to be a disk, but it's commit changes and upload, and then listen for this. Those 3 beeps mean that it was sent to the chip, and the Ostrich is now running on, in this case, 55, as long as the fuel quality switch is set to 0, which it is. So I'm going to close that. Injector dead time is important when you've got bigger injectors. I have a write-up on it on Carpokes. There's a lot of maps that I'm not going to play with. Most of these, work pretty well, stock, honestly. The full throttle, this is wide open throttle. Generally, you're going to want somewhere in the, high 11s, 11.8 across the line in order to get 11.8. But like I said on the tutorial, you really have to be careful not to just trust the numbers that you put in here. My car is not running at 9.6 to 1 air-fuel ratio at 6,000 RPM. It's about 11.8, but I had to cheat the number to get there. So keep that in mind. A very important map, if you're doing a performance chip, is the overboost map. You can see in my case, I actually put in values. I put in about 20 psi as the target for overboost. What you can do is just put in a max number. You can put 255 in across the board. It'll come back as 20.85, which is the highest it recognizes. And then you've essentially eliminated overboost protection. But on this chip, I thought, why not? I'm never going to run, that much boost. So if I have, completely runaway boost, maybe this will save me someday. You can play with the rev limit if you want. I should show you under Tools, under XDF, this little line right here, View, Edit, Parameter. It's actually pretty useful. What it does is it pulls up a box that gives you details about whichever parameter is active, whichever map is active. So in the little description box, it just tells you what it does. In this case, it's pretty obvious, but in other cases, you might need to read up a little bit. It also tells you where on the chip the map is located. And then I wanted to show this little tab down here. This tab shows the math that's going on behind the scenes. The little X in that formula is what's in the bin. The math around it is what TunerPro does to the bin value in order to create human readable numbers like 15 degrees advance at 3,000 RPM. Lots more to know. One last thing I'd show is if you want to, you can go and look at the actual hex itself. So when you make a change to that number, the 6480, which is stored as a multiple of 40, you can go see what number in the bin that is, and then go to the bin and look for it and make sure it's changed. And if you're really brave, you can make changes right to the bin itself and then go up and commit changes. Sometimes if you're not doing live emulating, or if it didn't work for some reason, you can go to emulation, upload current bin to hardware. That means whatever changes you've made to the bin using TunerPro, if you were to click that button, it sends the entire bin to the ostrich. So it makes sure that the ostrich has the data that you want it to have. And then similarly, if it's been a while and you don't remember quite what's on the chip, you can do it the other way around too. You can download the bin from the ostrich and then have that as the active bin that you're working on. One last thing, if you go to toggle data tracing and then go to any map while the engine is running, you have to find it up here on this menu, but there's an A for address. If you click that, you can then, while your engine's running, you can get a real-time display of which map locations are being hit by the DME, which can be super helpful if you're trying to track down a drivability quirk. That's pretty much it. You've got access to, just about everything you'd want to tune a chip. Good luck. Don't blow up your car.